but this knowledge is limited only to the physical events or material or corporeal objects. You can perceive a war which was fought between Kauravas and Pandavas. Sanjay was looking all the scenes of the war which was fought between Kauravas and Pandavas, remaining in his palace. So from palace, how you can perceive what is going on in the Kurukshetra? So it is quite unimaginable. But through direct soul, he could perceive those events or that war which was fought between Kauravas and Pandavas directly. Sense doesn't help to see those things which are at remote places, which are happening at remote places. But through soul you can perceive those events even. So those events which are corporeal or physical or material in nature can be seen with the help of soul, with the power of the soul. So that comes under avadhiya. It is a direct knowledge. Through sense and words, whatever we know, that comes under indirect knowledge. But through soul, whatever we perceive and know, that comes under direct knowledge. So these last three knowledges are known as direct perception or direct knowledge of an object. So under avadhiyan, we can perceive some events which are taking place at remote places, at distant places, and without help of sense, organ and mind, directly through soul. So that comes under the third category. The fourth one is manah pariyaya. The fourth category of knowledge is known as manah pariyaya. In the terms of science, you can say mind reading knowledge. You can perceive what is going on in the mind of a person who is in front of you or who may be at distant place. So you can perceive directly what is going on in the mind of other people. So that knowledge comes under the fourth category. That is also not possible with the help of sense organs or mind. You cannot perceive through senses what is going on in your mind. So I cannot perceive what is going on in your mind with the help of senses, with the help of mind. It is only the power of soul through which you can perceive some thoughts which is taking place in the mind of other people. So that comes under the fourth category. And the fifth one, for this knowledge you can get one more word in science, telepathy. Generally we say that we have telepathy. What you are thinking, I could come to know suddenly without any source of knowledge. We are not perceiving, yet we are getting what you are thinking. Sometimes we think in the same line. So we get the idea what other people can think. So this type of knowledge comes under manah pariyaya. And the last one is keval gyan. Often we discuss about keval gyan whenever we talk about the omniscient person. So what is keval gyan? It is the omniscient knowledge. The knowledge which can perceive each and everything happening in the whole universe. It is not confined to an object. It is not confined to any to particular place and time. You can perceive in the past, many years, many lives before, you can perceive what I was, and you can also perceive what will be in future. So far as time, space and situation is concerned, it is not bound, it is unlimited, infinite. It can be said a perfect knowledge, omniscient knowledge. So through this you can see everything, you can know everything, whether it is corporeal, whether it is non-corporeal. It is only the knowledge through which you can perceive soul directly. If you want to observe the existence of soul directly, then it is only the knowledge with the help of which you can perceive that I am existing. I am a soul and I am existing separate from non-living elements. So through Keval Gyan only we can get the knowledge of the self, direct perception of the self. So these are 5 types of knowledge which were discussed by Lord Mahavira and before Lord Parsh and all the 24 Tirthankaras. They discuss about the 5 types of knowledge. Now we are coming one by one. Mati Gyan, that is known as empirical knowledge. Also you can see it is an empirical knowledge. The knowledge which we get through senses, whatever we know through with the help of sense, that comes under Mati Gyan. So what is the definition of Mati Gyan? The cognition generated by the senses and the mind and apprehending the present object only is known as Mati Gyan. So this is the definition. Sensory knowledge is always confined to the object which is present before the senses. If something is not before the sense, it cannot perceive. So senses are always confined to the objects which are presented to senses. If it is beyond the senses or beyond the limit of the range of the sense, then you cannot get the knowledge through sense. The subject matter of the sensory knowledge is mainly the things which are having smell, color, taste, odor. These corporeal things are perceived through senses. We cannot perceive incorporeal or non-corporeal, or we can say non-physical or non-material objects through sense. Whatever we perceive, it has always some color, taste, odor, or we can say smell. So it means through senses we get the knowledge of the corporeal objects. So whatever we look, we see that all the objects which have some colors, etc., that can only be known through senses. Soul has no color, soul has no taste, soul has no smell, and therefore it cannot be perceived through senses. So sensory knowledge mainly is confined to the corporeal objects, physical objects. And the owner, all the 6 classes of beings can acquire this empirical knowledge. This knowledge has wide range. It means all living beings, whether it is one-sensed or 5-sensed, have this knowledge. So this is minimum knowledge which can be possessed by every living being.
So why is it 6 classes? Isn't it 5?
6 classes of living beings. Why 5? No. We are talking about So generally we talk in that terms of 6 kinds. Okay? So in this way we will discuss little bit about Mati Gyan. There are a vast of discussion about it, and only 1 hour or 2 hours are sufficient to deal with only one slide. Okay? So we are not going in much detail. Now we are coming to the second category of knowledge. See, it is not available here. Now, under the second category, second slide, next slide, we will discuss about the different types of Mati Gyan. So there are so many types of Mati Gyan. We get knowledge through senses, but there are so many varieties of knowledges which are gained through sense only. So there are 2 types of knowledge. One is known as Shrut Nishrit and second one is Ashrut Nishrit. It means the knowledge based on words and knowledge based direct of words. Impression of words. So it means under Shrut Nishrit Mati Gyan, what we know is this, that whenever we have seen some object beforehand, but at that time we couldn't grasp what it is. But later on, by thinking, by contemplation, we could come to know that that thing is that. So that type of knowledge comes under Shrut Nishrut Matigan. Whenever we know, we have seen something or we have discerned, heard about that object, but at that time we couldn't grasp it. We couldn't come to know that what is being said to me, actually what is being explained to me. But later on, after some self-thinking or self-contemplation, we acquire the correct knowledge of the thing which is explained by some other person. So that type of knowledge comes under Shrut Nishrut. But there is some other type of knowledge also which we get through senses, but those things which we have not seen at any point of time beforehand, we couldn't come to know through any person, but automatically it comes out from within. For example, Birbal, you know about Birbal, you know about Abhay Kumar. So those persons were having such type of Ashrut Nishrut Matigan. So they have extraordinary intelligence, what we say, or intellect, and because of that, whatever is being, what was being asked something to them, then they got correct knowledge or correct answer for that. So that type of knowledge also emerges from within, and it is also a kind of sensory knowledge, and it is known as what we say extraordinary knowledge, which comes which appears at the level of sensory knowledge. So that comes under Ashrut Nishrut Matigan. So there are two types of sensory knowledge. One which is confined to the object which we have seen first beforehand, and gradually we come to know that what it is. And the second one under which we have not seen that object beforehand, and all of a sudden it comes before us and we come to know that what it may be. So that knowledge comes Ashrut Nishrut Matigan. If something is presented to you and asked what it is, so you don't know about it before, but all of a sudden you can say that this must be this. What is in your head, it must be this. So that, and that is also alright, correct. So that type of knowledge comes under the second category, that is known as Shrut Nishrut Matigan. It is not dependent on any beforehand knowledge. So these two categories. Now we are coming to the next slide. It is also not helping here. So we are coming to next slide, under which we find that the Shrut Nishrut Matigan, which we have discussed, is the main category of sensory knowledge, but it is also having some different stages. Such knowledge doesn't come all of a sudden to us in first glance. We have to pass on or undergo certain processes or certain stages, then only you can get the knowledge of Shrut Nishrut. So there are 4 stages of getting such knowledge. One is Avagraha, second is Iha, third is Avay, and fourth is Dharana.
Can you repeat again?
Avagraha, the first. There are 4 stages of getting knowledge, empirical knowledge or sensory knowledge. 4 stages. So first one is Avagraha. Avagraha, yeah. Mere sensation. As soon as you see an object, you get the sensation of the object. What type of sensation you get? Whenever you see some object, in first glance what you see? That there is something. You don't know about the thing, but at first glance you see that there is something. That type of knowledge is known as Avagraha. This is the first stage of sensory knowledge. You do not come to the decision directly as soon as you see the object. You have to undergo some process, and after undergoing the process, you could come to know that this object is this. But what are those stages through which you get the perfect knowledge or the exact knowledge or the definite knowledge about the object? The first stage is avagraha. So under this you get mere sensation about the object, only reflection of the object, that there is something which I am perceiving. After getting this sensation, you try to analyze what I am seeing. Is it chair or table? So when you try to analyze and you get doubt, you undergoes a doubt process that whether it is chair or whether it is table, then you try to analyze that what type of sensations I am getting. These sensations are related to chair or table. And if you are confirmed that those sensations are mainly related to chair, then you come to decision that what the object is in front of me is a chair. So when you decide that it is a chair on the basis of the positive sensations which you are getting from the object located before you, is the third stage in which you take the decision that it is a chair. So this is known, the third stage is known avai, the second stage in which you analyze what I am looking. So that analytical or doubtful state is known as iha. Second stage is iha. Third stage you take decision about the object, that is known as avaya. Avaya means judgment about an object or determinate knowledge of an object. So that comes under the third category. And the fourth category, under which you try to retain the knowledge, determinate knowledge of an object for a longer time. And after a certain period, this knowledge gives birth to memory. If it remains for a longer time, the impressions of determinate object remains for a longer time, then it gives birth to memory. If you couldn't retain that impression for a longer time, you cannot memorize the thing, what you have perceived, what you have known. So that stage in which you retain these impressions for a long time is known as dharana, the fourth stage of knowledge, of sensory knowledge. So it is clear. There are four stages through which we could get the determinate knowledge of an object at sensory level.
This fourth one you say is word, but when word is not known, but the experience is known. So rather than word, it should be experience. I don't know, is it experience or you use it as a word? Because in the fourth case, once you know what you are experiencing and you know for sure what it is, then experience remains in the memory, or does it convert into word and then word remains in the memory?
It is experience actually about the object, or impression you can say. It will help you impression. Whenever you know an object, you get some impression about the object, some image of the object, and that image retains for longer time. So if your mind is capable to retain it for a longer time, then that type of knowledge comes under the dharana. And after a certain period, if you can divert your attention towards another object, but after some other sensation, you can get the knowledge about the same thing. So it is generated with the help of dharana, the impressions. The object is not before you, but you are remembering the object as it is. So that remembrance of the object is taking place because of the help of dharana, impressions, those you have got when you were looking at the object. So dharana is the fourth stage under which you can retain the impression of a determinate object. So these are four stages through which we get sensory knowledge or empirical knowledge, or the knowledge about the things which come into our sense experience. Now we are coming to the second category of knowledge, which is known as Shrutya. Before that, we have one more category of sensory knowledge, that is Ashrut Nishrit. We have discussed 4 stages under Shrut Nishrit, but there is one more category of sensory knowledge, that is known as Ashrut Nishrit, and it has also 4 types of knowledges under it. One is known as Auspattiki. It means whenever something comes before you and you have not got knowledge about it beforehand, yet all of a sudden you could come to know that what this object may be. So that type of knowledge comes under the first category, that is Auspattiki. So Birbal, the intellect of Birbal, the intellect of Abhay Kumar comes under this category. They have sensory knowledge, but they have Auspattiki, Ashrut Nishrit sensory knowledge. So whenever some new questions used to appear before them, all of a sudden they could come to know the exact answer of those questions. So that knowledge comes under the Auspattiki intellect. There are 4 types of intellect which come under the second category of sensory knowledge, which is known as Ashrut Nishrit Madhya. Under it we get first category, that is known as Auspattiki, and we get the knowledge about the objects which are not perceived beforehand, which are not known before, but all of a sudden they come before us and we come to know that what it is. So that knowledge comes under Auspattiki. The second is Vainayiki. Through education we get knowledge about the objects. We are going to schools, we are going to colleges, we are going to universities, we are coming to religious places to get knowledge, acquire knowledge. So after listening to so many things, we get some new knowledge by ourselves. After listening to so many things from the authentic persons and the scriptures and some other things, but some new knowledge emerges in us. That is not directly given by the speaker or by the teacher. It comes from within. After listening to so many things, after getting so many experiences under the higher authority. So whenever we get such type of knowledge, that comes under Vainayiki. It doesn't come from direct experience of an object. The third is Karmiki. Whenever we do some work, after a long time, we get some new knowledges. So working efficiency you develop after a certain period of time, and after undergoing certain work, you get automatically some new knowledge about your work. How I have to do this, how can I do this in a better way. So that way of betterment you get after undergoing certain work continuously for a longer time. You are teaching, after teaching so many years, you can get how I have to teach in a better way. So that experience comes after a long time work experience. So that comes under the Karmiki. And the fourth category is Parinamiki. After getting age, we get some knowledge. The youth cannot say something with very accuracy, but the old person can give some certain knowledges with perfect accuracy. So that comes after getting certain age. So age also gives some knowledge. As you passes the time, or you get the age, you get some certain type of knowledge because of the maturity. So that comes under the fourth category, that is known as Parinamiki. So as age passes, we get some new knowledge. This knowledge doesn't come with the help of any sense organ or any scriptures or by any person or by any situation, but as soon as our age passes, we get some knowledge, certain knowledge. So
Is
that
it
comes
all
under
the
four.
is it all the old people get it, or some get it and some don't get it?
Yeah, it might be. In some cases it cannot be, but after all the persons who get age, they have some certain type of knowledge which is with very accuracy. So all the old persons, they have such certain type of knowledge. So that cannot be found in a youth, that cannot be found in a child, that can be found only in the old age or after mature age.
Yeah, but don't we attribute that to experience rather than age? Because there can be a lot of people who can go through time
Yeah.
and get old, but still not be mature enough, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
So as Praveen Bhai said, maybe, certain people, not
Okay.
all.
And so
right?
after, it must be explained in the terms of maturity. So parinamiki. So now we have finished the one category of knowledge, that is sensory knowledge. Is it clear? Sensory knowledge is of two types, Shrut Nishrit and Ashrut Nishrit. Each one is again having four types: Avagrah, Iha, Avay, Dharana, Utpattiki, Vainayiki, Karmiki and Parinamiki. Now we have finished one type of knowledge which is known as sensory knowledge or Matikya. Now we are coming to the second category of knowledge which is known as Shrutagyan. The knowledge which we get through words, through indications, through symbols. All type of knowledge comes under the second category. So this under Shrutagyan, what we do? The next category is Shrutagyan. Under this we get some knowledge through words. So Shrutagyan is again of two types, minimum of two types and maximum 14 types. So it may be somehow very typical. I am not going into typical discussion, but I am taking only this, that at the time of Lord Mahavira, the Shrutagyan was mainly confined to the scriptural study. It was only confined to scriptural study. Whatever knowledge you are getting through scriptures, that comes under the Shrutagyan. And all the scriptures were divided into two categories. One is known as Ang and the second one is Upam. So Ang is inner corpus, which is consisting of 12 texts. They are known as Angas. And one word for that, Dvadashangi. And outer corpus, which is consisting of many texts and written by later acharyas. Ang literature is mainly spoken by the Tirthankaras, while the Upang literature is mainly written by the acharyas later on. So all those literature come under the scriptures, and the study of the scripture, or through the study of the scriptures, whatever you know, that comes under the second category of knowledge, that is known as Shrutagyan. So whenever you read any scripture, whether it is Kalpa Sutra or whether it is Acharanga or Sutra Pitang, so that knowledge comes under the second category, that is Shrutagyan. But nowadays this knowledge is, the definition of the Shrutagyan is somehow widened, and it covers all the knowledge which we are getting through words and indications, whether it is scripture or whether it is the knowledge related to some other text which we read in the university and college and etc. So the bookish knowledge, the knowledge which we are getting through words, all come under Shrutagyan. So now the definition is somehow widened, and therefore it is not only confined to the scriptural study, but the study which we are reading from with the help of the books or words. So this is the second category of knowledge, and now we are coming to third category of knowledge, that is avadhi gyan.
If an artist teaches a son how to paint or how to do music, that's not under this, because that's not book. If someone teaches how to play music,
Yeah.
is that under Shrutaknan? Or is it under... That's not... If someone teaches without books,
See, but that what you are knowing through the words, with the help of the words of the speaker, then it will come under the Shrutaknan. You are not directly perceiving through your senses
No.
how to play music. But whatever you are knowing about music or song singing, so you are knowing through with the help of the words of the speaker.
okay, so it's not only books, but books and words. Or
Yeah. So words are also come under that category. Now we are coming to the third category of knowledge, that is avadhi gyan. Yeah, this I have explained already. Yeah. Now we are coming to the third category, which is known as avadhi gyan or clairvoyance, under which you can perceive corporeal or physical events which are taking place at distant places or remote places with the help of soul, not with the help of sense organs or mind. Is it? It is clear? Under Mati Gyan we also see corporeal objects, and under Avadhi Gyan we also see corporeal objects. But those objects which are at distant places and not under the range of sense organs, that comes under the Avadhi Gyan. So we can perceive heavens and hills. Being seated here, we can perceive heavens and hills. How can we perceive? With the help of this Avadhi Gyan. You can perceive where is the hill, where is the heaven, what is going on there. So that type of knowledge comes under the third category, that is Avadhi Gyan.
This is also slightly similar to telepathy also?
No,
No.
it is not slightly similar to that, because that is only confined to the states of mind and not corporeal, all corporeal objects.
When you say corporeal, can you define it with exactly what corporeal?
Corporeal is the physical, the objects which has color, taste, odor,
Yeah.
smell. Those objects come under the corporeal category, the corporeal objects. So those can only be known with the help of Avadhi Gyan. So all the events which are taking place at distant places and cannot be perceived with the help of senses or mind, you can perceive with the power of soul. Yeah.
And you consider corporeal the hellish realm and the celestial realm too? They're considered material in some
Yeah,
way?
they are material.
Material. Okay.
Yeah. So therefore you can perceive. So some people get...
I can give one example.
Yeah.
That at one time I was selling on the counter in a shop,
Yes.
and in the morning I get a feeling that I have not seen Mr. Diamantino, who comes from Malta, and I have not seen him.
Yes.
This is at about 9:30 in the morning, and 11 o'clock he comes at my doorstep in the shop, and I'm dealing with him, selling him more things. And it has happened a number of times that somebody else is coming from Pakistan, and somehow when I think of it, that time he must have landed in Heathrow Airport. Then he comes to the shop to buy the electronic components. So this is something that has happened a few times, that I think of something after 2 in the morning, and afternoon he turns up saying that I've come from Egypt even. We had a sort of 30 international customers. And is this, what kind of knowledge you would call this one? I mean, I had no knowledge. It just thought comes to mind that this is happening. You don't take notice of it. But when the person presents himself out of blue, which you thought also you don't think every day about that one, but then he stands in front of you and he's buying things from you. You wonder why it is. Sometimes thoughts are passing through us about different people coming to buy from you, and that is why it just happens. Or is it that, and what category would it come under?
Yeah. See, under clairvoyance or Avadhi Gyan, you will perceive directly those things.
Okay.
That those things will be very clear. As I am perceiving you, you can perceive those events which are taking place at remote places or in heaven or hell. You can directly perceive, as you see in movie or TV, the serials are going on. Likewise, you can perceive every object and everything clearly. It is clear to your soul. But so far as the impressions which you are getting,
It's just a passing thought that I have not seen him. That's all I get a feeling. That maybe I have not seen him for some time now. And then the thoughts go away also. You don't hold on to it or anything. You don't take it important. But when the event happens, then you wonder what happened
so
there.
that comes under intuition. See, the consciousness has two types of power. One is knowledge power and the second one is intuition power.
Yeah, okay.
So you are having that capacity also inside. So sometimes you get intuition of the object. When events take place, then you come to know that those impressions I have got beforehand.
Correct.
Yeah. Now we are coming to the third category, that is avadhyan and clairvoyance, under which you can see things which are taking place at remote places, and therefore the definition is given: the knowledge which arises directly through the soul and cognizes the corporeal objects only, whether they are subtle, distant or covert. It can partly be compared with clairvoyance. It can be partly compared. Clairvoyance is not so much clear and systematic and in extended form, but avadhyan has much more capacity than clairvoyance. So it is somehow advanced knowledge than clairvoyance. But only to get the concept we are taking the help of clairvoyance, but clairvoyance is somehow lower and it is somehow very advanced and clear knowledge. The subject matter of this knowledge is always corporeal objects or physical events, and the owner of this knowledge can be of any living being. Human, even animals can get such knowledge. So this type of knowledge can be acquired by all the living beings. 4 types of living beings are counted in Jain philosophy. One is celestial living being, one is hellish living being, and animal, and human beings, that comes under animal beings. So all types of living beings can acquire this type of knowledge, and it appears from within. It is not got from schools, colleges or any other training. You got it from within with the purity of the self, because of the purity of the self. So now we are coming to the different categories. There are so many categories of avadhyan also. So you will see that there are 2 types of avadhyan. One is known as bhav pratyay and the second one is kshayopasham pratyay. So it is the first one, it is the inborn clairvoyance of the infernal and celestial beings. For instance, the inborn capacity of birds to fly or fish to swim. It is clear? As soon as some being takes birth as a bird, it doesn't need any training for flying in the sky. So likewise, every hellish being and celestial being, as soon as they take birth in heaven or hell, they get such knowledge, omniscient knowledge. Clairvoyance or avadhyan. So that comes under the bhav pratyay, because of the very taking birth at a particular place, you get such knowledge. Vikramaditya, Vikramaditya gets such type of reflections. So whenever he used to stand at a particular place, suddenly he gets such knowledge. And with the help of that knowledge, he could do justice with so many people. So he could perceive such type of things. So a particular place also helps to generate such knowledge. Particular situation also helps to, and particular birth also helps. So So all the celestial beings and all the hellish beings have this knowledge, and with the help of that knowledge they could perceive where are they coming from, what they were in the past life, how they could come to take birth in heaven or hell. So they could see their past lives with the help of this knowledge. So all celestial beings and heavenly beings have knowledge, this type of knowledge, but this knowledge has so many gradations, so many categories also. So we are not going into detailed discussion. So now we have got the concept of first, and the second one is Kshopasham Pratyay. Human beings can get this knowledge. Human beings do not get it by birth, but they can acquire this knowledge through some spiritual practices. So that comes under the second category, that is Kshopasham Pratyay. Kshopasham means by spiritual practice you can get this type of knowledge. So in the time of Lord Mahavira, there was a number of monks and nuns who were having or possessing this knowledge. Nowadays, few people can be found that through spiritual practice and hard practice they get such type of knowledge. But there are very few. In thousands you can get hardly one or nothing. No one. So this knowledge was easily available at the time in the presence of Tirthankaras. Now we are coming to the second category. There are certain subtypes of second, now it is not available here, but there are so many types of second category of clairvoyance or avadhigyan, which we acquire through spiritual practice. So under which first is anugami. Anugami means whenever we get such knowledge at a particular place, if we pass on from there, the knowledge also goes with us. For example, Vikramaditya used to stand at one place. He just got the knowledge, and when he passes from that place, if knowledge used to go with him, then it is known as anugami. And there is one more category which is quite opposite to it, and that under that one person can get knowledge at particular place with the help of the particular effect of the particular place. They can get such knowledge, but as soon as he passes from that place, the knowledge stops. It doesn't go with the cognizer, with the knower. So that comes under ananugami. So I hope whenever Vikramaditya used to get this knowledge, it was the second category. Whenever he used to pass on from that place, the knowledge did not go with him. It was confined to particular place only. So because of the purity of the place, we get such knowledge.
Does that point to the value of pilgrimage, for instance?
Yeah?
Would that point to the value of pilgrimage? Why pilgrimage is necessary?
Yeah.
To visit holy places?
Yeah, holy places, yeah. It is the importance of the place.
Yes.
Place also affects the purity of the self. As soon as you get the pilgrimages or pure places, automatically you get the purity of the self and some knowledge emerges from within. So anugami, ananugami. The third one is vardhaman. Vardhaman means the knowledge which increases day by day after generation. Today I get knowledge, avadhigyan, but it is not so much extended. But tomorrow it increases and I could perceive many more things at various remote places. So it may be, when it generates, it may be infant, but after certain time it increases, and therefore I could perceive the whole world. So that type of knowledge comes Vardhaman, and the fourth one is Hiyaman. It might be that today I get the knowledge and it is somehow very extended, but because of my ego or because of some other misconduct, this knowledge can reduce day by day, and one time maybe that it finishes. So it happens because of the ego and miracle, some showing of some miracles to people, I get decrease of my knowledge. So therefore it is prohibited that whenever you get some mysterious power, you should not show it to people. Otherwise it may return back because of ego, because of showing.
Can you repeat it please again and explain
Yes.
what it means?
Yeah.
No, this you should not.
Hiyaman means which decreases day by day. I get knowledge today, and it is somehow very extended. I can perceive many more things with the help of this knowledge, but because of my ego, because of my showing nature, this knowledge can decrease. So tomorrow it may decrease to very much extent, and one day may come that it will finish.
But sometimes you don't know what's that happening to me.
Yeah,
You have to find out with somebody.
yeah.
So it's not ego actually, but you want to know what's happening within me.
No, see, when we try to confirm our knowledge with the help of others, that is not the point of ego. But what happens whenever I get knowledge, I feel that I am so and so. I can see this, I can see that. So that type of ego, causes decrease of knowledge.
And you say you must not tell other people about this one, otherwise you lose it.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that one? How does it work? How does it actually, what is the process that, if you tell somebody,
Yeah.
then you lose your own knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because of ego. Not because of ego.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not egoistic after getting the knowledge,
Okay.
then it will not. Only with the help to know about the things, you can take the help of the knowledge, and you can say something to other people also with the help of that knowledge. But if you are feeling that I am very knowledgeable person, I have got extraordinary perception, I have got extraordinary power of the soul, and I am trying to show, and it might be some people can misuse the knowledge of, as we are looking in the case of terrorist people, they are getting knowledge of the explosion or bomb about, but they are misusing. So some people can misuse their knowledge.
Misuse it.
So if we misuse, then it decreases.
Tantric is an example there.
Yeah?
Tantric knowledge is an example.
Yeah, tantric knowledge is also this type of category. They misuse their knowledge. You should work for the welfare of humanity. Then only knowledge can increase. Otherwise it can get decreased. So this is the main warning by the Jain Tirthankaras, that you should not think of harm about other things. Now we are coming the next category of the Kshopasham Avadhigyan, that is known Pratipati. It means the knowledge may decrease, not only it may decrease, but it may one day, it may finish one day. It can be disappear. So your all spiritual practice will get will be meaningless. So Pratipati means the avadhi which is unsteady, increases or decreases without any system, like a wave of ocean. So that is Pratipati means the knowledge which finishes or vanishes at one day, that comes under Pratipati. And there is one more category, Apratipati. The omniscient people or all the Tirthankaras get this knowledge by birth. By their very birth they get this knowledge. So they are not able to but that comes under apratipati. It will never fall down, it will never finish, it will always be with the omniscient soul, omniscient person. Till they get omniscience, it will continue to exist in them, and as soon as they get omniscience, it will merge into omniscient knowledge. But it will not finish. So that type of clairvoyance comes under the sixth category, that is apratipati. Now we are coming to the fourth category of knowledge, which is known as manah paryaya. The knowledge of the states of mind, the direct knowledge. You are perceiving the thoughts which are going on in the mind of other people. You are not doing only telepathy. In telepathy you don't perceive the thought, but you could come to know what is going inside in the mind of others. But that is a kind of indirect knowledge. But under manah paryaya you can perceive clear cut of the thoughts of other people. As soon as Indrabhuti Gautam, who was once a Brahmin, and he came in the Samvatsaran of Lord Mahavir, Lord Mahavir could see the thoughts which were going on in his mind. Though he was omniscient, so he was perceiving with the help of omniscient knowledge actually, but under omniscient he has the capacity to know directly the states of knowledge, mind or thoughts of other person. So he could come to know that what is going on in the mind of Indrabhuti, what he wants to ask me. So that knowledge under which we can perceive directly, clearly the thoughts of others, then it is known as manah paryaya gyan, or mind reading knowledge, or telepathy you can say, but telepathy is not equivalent to manah paryaya, mind reading knowledge, which is direct knowledge. So the definition is here clear. The knowledge which cognizes or reads the general modes and complex modes of a mind is known as manah paryaya. The subject matter of mind reading knowledge is states of mind only. It is only confined to the thoughts. So thoughts are also are always going on in human mind. They are not also found in animal beings, though they have mind. Yet they are not undergoing thought processes. They are using their mind for a time being, and not they have no such thoughts as human mind have. So it is mainly confined to human sphere, which is Dhaidvip. You know Dhaidvip. So wherever our human beings are found, they have mind, they can think, and therefore thought can be perceived only in the mind of human beings. They can also be perceived in hellish beings and celestial beings. So except these three, thoughts are not found in any other living beings, and therefore it is mainly confined to human beings. This knowledge is mainly confined to human beings, to know the thoughts of humans. Is it? So it is manah paryaya gyan. Manah paryaya gyan has again two types. It is of two types. One is rizumati and the second one is vipulmati. Whenever you try to know the thoughts of other people without going into detailed study of those thoughts, then it comes under rizumati. And if you want to know each and every aspect of their thinking, then it comes under the vipulmati. Complex modes of mind and simple modes of mind. What you are thinking about your office, that comes under the rizumati. But you are thinking about office, about your servants, about some other papers or documents, and everything I am perceiving what is going on in you. So that comes under complex vipulmati gyan. Whenever I try to know your thoughts in detail with all complexities, then it comes vipulmati gyan. If I am knowing that you are thinking about your office and I am confined only to that much, so that comes under rizumati.
I want to make one comment, if you confirm it is right.
Yeah.
That generally an ignorant person
Yeah.
will feel a bit threatened by a person who is able to do man pariyavnan. Average person will be a little bit worried what I'm thinking. But what I think is that a person who is who has got this mati is a vitrag type of person.
Yes.
He has no good feelings or bad feelings, negative feelings about you. He just knows that what it is. He doesn't regard you a bad person or a good person.
Yes.
He does not analyze you. He doesn't criticize you. He's
Yes.
not going to find you out and threaten you.
Yes.
So I think all of us will relax and say, no, he doesn't mean any harm at all. If he knows that's okay, but he's not going to tell me off about it.
Yes.
So I'm just saying that for every person to be feeling comfortable, that also you have bad thoughts sometimes, but it's a human nature to have those thoughts. And when a clairvoyant sees those thoughts, then you feel sometimes people feel threatened, especially ignorant people.
Yes.
But this threat doesn't work because he has no rag dvesh about it. He
Yes.
doesn't think it is good or he knows it is there. That's all he knows. He doesn't criticize it. Is that right?
See, the speciality of this knowledge is this, that it doesn't appear in such a person who can think of otherwise about others after knowing. So it always appears in Samyak Drishti, who doesn't harm others,
Yeah.
who doesn't harm others. It needs the more intensity of purity inside.
Correct.
So it doesn't appear easily in everybody. If you will know everything, what he is planning, what he is going to do in next time, and if you want to create some obstacles, so that type of knowledge is not good. So it doesn't appear in everybody. It is only in Samyak Drishti and in only saint, not in a common human being. It appears only in saint.
No, insane.
Highly spiritually developed saint can acquire this knowledge.
Yeah, but saint does not think it as a fault or this or that. He sees as a normal existence. There's just some existing process going on.
Yeah.
Just like a volcano goes, a lot of heat is generated,
Yeah.
but he sees that's an event going on.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect him in any way at all,
Yeah.
and he does not even interact or react to that situation or
Yeah.
gets involved with it.
Yeah.
He just sees and knows, that's all.
That's all. And sometimes it might be that as Indrabhuti Gautam was thinking something and Lord Mahavira came to know that he wanted to ask this and that. So I have to answer that. So for that purpose he can address some people that
Correct.
you are thinking so and this is the answer of your question. So to give some answer to some particular questions of the person, and you can say something. Then the knowledge can be used. Now we are coming to the last category, which is the Keval Gyan, omniscience. Under it we try to know each and every object, whether it is near or far or at any place of the universe, in any corner of the universe. And with the help of this omniscient knowledge, we can perceive all the objects, whether it is corporeal or non-corporeal, and therefore we could perceive soul with the help of this knowledge. All the four categories of knowledge are mainly or somehow connected with the corporeal objects. It is only the knowledge which can perceive non-corporeal objects, under which we can perceive dharmastikai, the medium of motion, the medium of rest, space and soul. All these non-corporeal, non-physical elements can be perceived directly with the help of omniscient knowledge. So it is also clear now, because we have one more topic, and within time I have to finish. So, and now we are coming to the next theory of knowledge, which is known as theory of Pramaan. It is really the extension of the theory of knowledge. Jain epistemology is extended and somehow presented in different form under the theory of Pramaan in the philosophical age, which starts from 2nd century AD to 8th century AD. The 5 types of knowledges were discussed at the time of Lord Mahavira. It means from 6th century BC to 1st century AD. This period is known as canonical age, Agam Yug, in which omniscient people or the people who were having extrasensory perceptions were presented, and the people used to know anything about extrasensory directly from them. So those knowledges were discussed at the time in the canonical age, but as soon as the philosophical age comes, Jain thinkers or philosophers have to reflect again the theory of knowledge in some new perspective, and that comes under Pramaan. So Pramaan is a kind of logical knowledge about an object. It is a valid knowledge about an object. So the definition is somehow refined under this age. And what is Pramaan? Pramaan is also a kind of source of knowledge. We are also discussing under Pramaan what are the source of knowledge. So under it, it is discussed that the knowledge which we get without any doubt, without any illusion about the object, or without any ignorance or uncertainty about an object which is determined, is known as Pramaan. So Pramaan is also a kind of knowledge, but under in philosophical age the definition is given in this way, that the source of knowledge through which we get the knowledge without any doubt, without any ignorance, without any illusion about the object determined, is known as Pramana. So there are two types of Praman. Means again the same thing is being discussed here in somehow. So there are two types of Praman. Praman means the source of knowledge through which we gain knowledge. So there are two categories, Pratyaksha and Paroksh, in which direct perception, the Paroksh is indirect perception. In the philosophical age, the what is the source of knowledge are divided into two categories. One is Pratyaksha and the second one is Paroksh, direct perception and indirect perception. Under 5 categories of knowledge, we were also discussing that there are some knowledges which are giving direct knowledge of the object, and some are giving indirect knowledge. So under theory of knowledge, we were discussing sensory perception and Shuddha Gyan. They were indirect knowledge. We are not perceiving the object directly through soul. And Avadhi Gyan, Manaparya Gyan and Keval Gyan, these were in direct knowledges, because in those knowledge, under those knowledge, we were perceiving the object of knowledge directly through soul. So the criteria in the canonical age was of direct knowledge and direct knowledge is this, that if the object is perceived directly by soul, then it comes direct knowledge, under direct knowledge. Or if it is perceived with the help of sense organ and mind or words, etc., then it comes under indirect. But so far as the philosophical age is concerned, here the criteria is somehow changed or somehow modified. And according to it, Pratyaksha, direct perception and indirect perception. So here the definition is somehow changed. What is that definition? That which is known directly by sense organ and soul is direct perception. So now you are looking the difference under the philosophical age. In philosophical age, what type of changes are going on? In the canonical age, the sense, the knowledge which we were getting through senses is coming under indirect. And in philosophical age, it is coming under direct. Is it? Mm-hmm. This slight change is being done here, because all other philosophical systems except Jain philosophy, all were taking sensory knowledge as a direct knowledge. They were considering it as a direct perception or direct knowledge of an object. Generally we say that I have seen this with my own eyes, so it is direct knowledge. So people in general think that knowledge which are gained through senses is direct. So because to compromise with other philosophical systems and the knowledge of the common people, Jains have taken sensory knowledge as a direct knowledge in philosophical age. They have not accepted in canonical age, but in philosophical age they have taken it as direct knowledge, under the category of direct knowledge. And that which is known with the help of some other means is indirect. In canonical age, we were saying that the knowledge which is gained through senses, mind, words, scriptures, all come under indirect. But here we are looking that sense is going indirect and some other means, words, mind, etc., that is coming under indirect. So some changes are made because of making compromise with other philosophical systems. When we were debating with others, then we had to do some compromise with, to talk in the terms of other philosophical systems. So therefore Jain Acharyas did such changes, but they were also very meticulous and very conscious about the canonical concepts. And therefore they have divided direct knowledge into two categories again, Samvyavharik and Mukhya Pratyaksha. Samvyavharik means empirical perception and Mukhya Pratyaksha means transcendental perception. So according to Jains, we can consider the knowledge of senses under direct knowledge only in the sense of empirical perception. But so far as the direct knowledge which we get through soul comes under Mukhya Pratyaksha means transcendental Pratyaksha. The direct knowledge in actual sense is the knowledge which we get through soul and not sense perception. But so far as the common people knowledge is concerned or common experience is concerned, we can take the knowledge of senses under direct knowledge, but that will be only Samvyavharik and not in real sense, in actual sense. It is only to compromise. Now we are coming the former, the second knowledge. What we say? The former is again of two types, sensory and mental. Samvyavharik Pratyaksh, we can again divide it into two categories, sensory and mental perception. Sensory perception and mental perception. Sometimes we think and we get knowledge. So by that we realize, we feel that there is some pain in our body, there is pleasure in us. So that type of perception comes under mental perception. We are not knowing these pains and pleasures in us, which is going on in us, directly through senses. But through mind we can get the knowledge of pleasure and pain, which is going on inside. So that comes to mental perception, and those things which we are observing through senses, that comes under sensory perception. The latter is of again two types, Avadhi, Manaparya and Keval, which we have discussed already. Now we are coming to the indirect knowledge, indirect perception, Paroksh Gyan, under which become Smriti, Pratyabhigyan, Tark, Anuman and Agam, memory, recognition, hypothetical reasoning or inductive reasoning, and inference and testimony. All these come under the indirect perception. So these are the discussions which we find under the theory of knowledge and Pramaan. So now I have finished this. Thank you. So memory is also a kind of knowledge. Some people do not accept it. In some other philosophical systems do not accept that memory is a kind of knowledge. But according to Jains, it is also a kind of knowledge because it serves many purposes. If you don't remember that you have taken some rupees from someone, then you will forget after some time and you will not return those money to them. So knowledge also serves many more purposes, and therefore memory also serves many more purposes, and therefore it comes under the category of knowledge. Pratyabhigyan, under this we recognize the thing which we have perceived already. But the thing as soon as comes before us, we remind it that the object which I saw yesterday is the same object which is standing before me or which is in front of me. So So the object which we have perceived in past, again we see at present, then what we do? We compare the past experience and present experience and come to know that it is the object which I saw yesterday. So this type of knowledge, under which we combine two types of experience together and get some new knowledge, that comes under recognition. And under third, what we do? We try to know some universal relationships between two objects. For example, whenever we see a tree, we find that it is always product of a seed. So there must be a seed. Without seed, there may not be a tree. So tree and seed both are interconnected, both are interdependent. One is cause and other is the effect. So if we are perceiving effect, there must be some cause behind it. So cause-effect relationship, we can get knowledge of the cause and effect with the help of tark. So tark is a kind of inductive reasoning. We see some certain cases, and through the experience of those cases, we could come to know one universal decision, that whenever I find smoke, I find fire behind it. Whenever I saw a smoke at one place and I find fire. At second place I see smoke and I find fire. Third place I see smoke and I find fire. So I could come to know that whenever I see smoke, there will always be some fire. If there is no fire, there is no smoke. So this type of reasoning I get through my particular experiences or through the experience of particular cases, events. So this type of reasoning is known as tark. And with the help of this reasoning, we work out some universal relationships between two objects. And there is Anuman, inference. So with the help of such type of knowledge which we get through inductive reasoning, we can infer easily about the object which is not before us, which is concealed, which is hidden, which is not direct to our senses, but with the help of smoke. I am looking at smoke, a hill, but I am so far that I am not perceiving the fire behind it. So, but I know universal relationship between smoke and fire. So as soon as I see fire at a remote place, I could easily infer that there must be some fire. Otherwise smoke cannot be found. So this type of inference of fire is possible only with the help of the reasoning which I get through tark, inductive reasoning, universal relationship which are found between smoke and fire. So if I have already that type of knowledge about the universal relationship between smoke and fire, then only I can do inference. Inference is not possible without the knowledge of universal relationships between two objects, out of which one you are inferring. So you can infer one object with the help of other if you know that they have universal relationship. They are always found together. One cannot be found in the absence of other. Then only you can infer about the object which is hidden, which is not clear, which is not direct, and only one is seen, and with the help of one you can go to another. You can see tree, and with the help of tree you can go to seed, because you know that tree and seed are always interconnected. In the absence of seed you cannot see tree. So you can easily infer by looking tree only that there must be some seed behind it. So this type of inference is possible only with the help of reasoning. And the last one is agam, scriptural knowledge. So that is also a kind of category of knowledge through which you can get authentic knowledge of an object. So you don't know about karmas directly, you don't know about moksha, you don't know about the punya and pap, etc. But how you could come to know about all these things? These are not direct to your experience. This you cannot find from any other way. So how you are getting the knowledge of such abstract things? So only scriptures are the authentic source of providing such and such knowledge. So these are the 5 types of knowledge which were accepted in the philosophical age. So it is clear? I hope it is clear. Everything is clear.
Very good.
So today we have discussed 2 types of theory of knowledge and theory of Pramaan. So under Pramaan, some changes have been made by the Jain Acharyas to compromise with other philosophical systems and the knowledge of the common man, so that they can discuss widely their things, their philosophy in terms of others. So therefore they have made such changes, but they did not compromise with the original concept which were given by the Tirthankaras. So this is the speciality of Jain Acharyas, that they never missed the original concept of which were given by Tirthankaras, but they have added something new to that. Thank you very much. If somebody has some questions.